do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is Bob broadcasting from Camp Roberts Hope, telling you to make your teeth nice and white with Pepsodent, and when you listen to the President speak, you'll always have a good map to look at. It's a nice opening line, piece work. Well, here I am at Camp Roberts. Camp Roberts is just about in Central California. Central California, this is where the fog from San Francisco comes down to sneer at the fog from Los Angeles. Oh, you know, huh? I want to tell you I'm enjoying it here. I got a lovely reception. You know how they give important people an escort of 2 officers riding ahead on motorcycles? Well, for me, they had a campfire girl and a pogo stick. And gosh, I had a nice trip up here. You've seen those beautiful streamlined trains. Well, while we were riding up here, 6 of them passed our bus. What a bus. You know those lightning Greyhounds? Well, this was a shuffling Pekingese. And what a rough ride up in that bus. I haven't been bounced around so much since I was a baby and swallowed a Hoover button. But the driver was very careful. Every time he'd drive through town, he'd slow down to 50 and put aside his magazine he was reading. And if it was a big town, he'd make the blonde get off his lap, too. What a trip. I said to the driver, how fast are we going? He said, I don't know. The speedometer doesn't work. It never works unless the wheels are touching the ground. The bus was going along, and all at once we heard a loud explosion. The driver said, must be a backfire. Got no tires. And right at the beginning of our trip, we had a big letter V cut in the side of our bus. And it wasn't for victory. We were making a left turn on Hollywood Boulevard when 6 women drivers flew through us in battle formation. The bus went through a dark tunnel, and for a gag, I leaned over to steal a kiss from Frances Langford. Just then, the bus hit a bump. Well, all I can say is that either I kissed the saxophone player or Frances should stop smoking White Owls. And we had a nice trip. We passed Santa Anita, but some of Bing Crosby's horses are in the cavalry. Really, they're very valuable. The Army figures shooting won't hurt them because they're full of lead anyway. Bing has got a novel idea for bookkeeping. Right before a workout, he pastes defense bonds all over the horse so that it crosses the finish line and the bonds mature at the same time. But anyway, finally we arrived here at Camp Roberts. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and just as a gag, Skinny's trumpet player stuck his head out of the bus and started to play Reveille. He was buried with full military honors. I got here last night, so I had to sleep in the barracks with the men. You know what barracks are. 2,000 cots separated by individual crap games. I had to sleep with a soldier who'd been on KP. All night long he peeled potatoes in his sleep, and when I woke up, my big toe was ready for cooking. And I want to tell you, after the lights go out, and it's all very dark, in walks the best-liked man on the West Coast. He's really popular. He's the only guy in the Army with neon dice. I got into one crap game, and they let me use my own dice. I won't say I was doing well, but a stranger came along and asked, is this Camp Roberts? And a gentleman pointed to me and said, one more roll, and it will be. Thank you. Oh, it's been a great day here at Camp Roberts for the Army. And, you know, we've covered plenty of land, sea, and air since Pearl Harbor and visited many a vital cog in our fighting machine. But tonight we're face to face with number 1 boy in the armed forces, the man in the infantry, Johnny Doughboy himself. When you snap on your radio these days, you hear the roaring dramas of men who fly through steel and fire to sink a Jap carrier or blast a Nazi submarine, then come limping home on a wing and a prayer. But we don't hear much about a guy with a stripe in his sleeve and a gun in his arm who's the biggest hero of them all. He's just plain Joe Infantry. All-around soldier who stands with his 2 feet on the ground and slugs out the final round of every fight. He's the man who stormed to the top of Hill 164, fighting through more hell per square foot than any man has ever known. The fellow who swept down the other side of Tunis and Bizerte, a little closer to Berlin, And he's the guy who tonight is pushing through the red and white snow of Attu Island, a little closer to Tokyo. Just plain Joe infantry. No silver wings, no glamour. But, mister, he's the guy who day and night, and I mean every day and night, is taking his country a little closer to victory. Good night, fellas.